Biography of the philosopher Plato. Plato, 428 BC to 348 BC, was a Greek philosopher, writer, teacher, orator, and one of Socrates' illustrious students. Where his philosophy formed the basis of many Western civilizations. Plato laid the foundations of ethics, aesthetics. Born into a noble family, Plato received the best education available at the time in Athens. During his youth, he wrote poetry and studied art, but that all changed when he met Socrates. Born into a noble family, Plato received the best education available at the time in Athens. During his youth, he wrote poetry and studied art, but that all changed when he met Socrates. After his teacher Socrates was sentenced to death by the government of Athens, Plato abandoned his career in politics, choosing to travel and learn all he could about philosophy, mathematics, science and religion. He studied mathematics in Italy, and learned engineering, geology, astronomy and religion in Egypt. Then, after 12 years, he returned to Athens to establish the Academy, which is the first regular school in Western civilization. One of the brightest students of Plato was Aristotle, who later became an advisor to Alexander the Great, and contributed greatly to the development of philosophy. Plato wrote a lot during his life, covering almost all fields of knowledge, and thus his writings and dialogues turned into an ancient legacy testifying to human intelligence. The teachings of Plato are evidence of the fact that human behavior has not changed since 2,500 years ago. The first or early stage was during the travels of Plato, 399 to 387 BC, and the Apology appears to have been composed shortly after Socrates' death. Among the other texts that were composed in this period are the Dialogue of Protagoras, Euthyphro, Hippias the Great, Hippias the Younger, and the Dialogue of Ion. In these dialogues, Plato tries to spread Socrates' philosophy and teachings. In the second or middle stage, Plato writes his own opinion about the central ideals, which are justice, courage, wisdom, and the moderation of the individual and society. He wrote his book The Republic during this stage, in which he talks about a just government ruled by philosopher kings. In the third or later stage, Socrates plays a smaller role and Plato takes a closer look at his own early ideas of metaphysics, examining the role of art, which includes dance, music, drama and architecture, and the role of values and morals. In his writings on the theory of the world of ideals, Plato points out that the world of ideas is the only constant and that the sensory world that we feel with our senses is misleading and changing. Sometime around 385 BC, Plato founded a school known as the Academy, which he remained at the helm until his death. It is believed that the school was located in an enclosed garden named after a legendary Greek hero. The Academy remained in existence until the year 529 AD. When the Roman Emperor Justinian I closed it, because he was afraid that it would be a source of pagan education and a threat to Christianity. Throughout its work, the Academy's curricula taught subjects in astronomy, biology, mathematics, political theory, and philosophy. Plato hoped that the Academy would be a place for future leaders to explore how to create better government in the independent Greek cities. In 367 BC, Plato was invited by his friend and student Dion to become a personal tutor to his nephew Dionysius II, the new ruler of Syracuse, Sicily. Dion believed that Dionysius had the distinctive qualities that would qualify him to be an ideal leader, so he accepted Plato in the hope that this experience would lead to the preparation of a philosopher king. However, Dionysius, after a short time, disappointed all expectations, and accused Dion, and then Plato, of plotting against him, so he ordered Dion to be exiled and Plato kept under house arrest. Finally, Plato returned to Athens and his academy, and among his most brilliant students was Aristotle, who took the teachings of his teacher towards a new direction. Plato never married, and Gregory of Lestos narrates that Plato was homosexual, and his struggle against homosexuality was only the result of the guilt complex he felt for it. In the eyes of Plato, the sensual world was a distorted world, so he hated the entire sexual process, and restricted sex to women in order to procreate and preserve the human race. When he spoke of women, he was devoid of any emotion. His most important works are Defending Socrates, Laches, Dialogue on Courage, Charmanides, Dialogue on Perseverance, Etephron, about religiosity, Protagoras, on virtue, Gorgias, on the critique of selfishness. Facts about Plato. He was a student of Socrates and a teacher of Aristotle. His most famous book is The Virtuous City. His ideas and writings were greatly influenced by Socrates. He used the method of dialogues to present his ideas on various topics. Here are some sayings about Plato. Excellence is not a gift, but a skill that needs training. We don't act right because we are superior, in fact we achieve superiority by acting right. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools speak because they just have to say something. Within all of us, even those who seem quietest, there is a terrible, wild and illegal desire. There are three types of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor and lovers of profits. To overcome oneself is the first and noblest of all victories. Do not train children to learn by force or cruelty, but direct them to it in such a way as to amuse their minds, and thus you will be able to discover with accuracy the genius of each of them.
Music is a moral law. It gives the universe a soul. The mind has wings. It gives you an escape for the imagination, magic and joy for life and for everything else.
Good works give us strength and inspire others to do good works as well. The courage is to know what you should not be afraid of. The value of a man lies in what he can achieve with the strength in his hands. False words not only carry evil within, but also infect the soul with evil. Human actions stem from three primary sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Never discourage anyone who is making continuous progress, no matter how slowly. Good people don't need laws to tell them how to act responsibly, while bad people will always find a way around them. Plato's death. Plato spent the last years of his life in the academy and with his writings. As for the circumstances surrounding his death, they are shrouded in mystery, although it is almost certain that he died in Athens around 348 BC and was in his early 80s, and researchers indicate that he died while attending a wedding party, and what is believed to be others that he died peacefully in his sleep. Plato's influence on philosophy and human nature had a profound impact that transcended his country, Greece, as his works dealt with a wide range of interests and ideas, dealing with mathematics, science, nature, ethics, and political theories. Fairer and Juster focuses on the equality of individuals in the foundation of modern democracy.